Imagine a man who could have lived a life of luxury, surrounded by wealth and comfort. But instead, he chose to walk through factory floors, work alongside common workers, and dream of building a nation where even the poorest could afford dignity. This is not just the story of a businessman. This is the story of Ratan Tata, the man who redefined leadership with kindness, vision, and courage. Today, we take you on a journey, from a shy boy in Bombay to the global icon who carried India's name across the world. Act 1: Childhood and Early Life, the making of Ratan Tata. In the year 1937, Bombay, now Mumbai, welcomed a child who would one day become a symbol of integrity, vision, and humility. His name was Ratan Tata, born into the prestigious Tata family, the name behind one of India's most respected industrial groups. Yet, despite being born into privilege, Ratan's childhood was far from smooth. When he was just 10 years old, life struck him with an emotional blow. His parents separated. In a society where such things were rare and often judged, this left a deep mark on little Ratan. He, along with his younger brother Jimmy, was raised not by his parents but by his grandmother, Lady Navashbai Tata. She became his guiding light, instilling in him values of discipline, humility, and compassion. Growing up, Ratan wasn't the loud or arrogant heir one might expect. Instead, he was shy, thoughtful, and deeply curious about the world around him. He attended the Cathedral and John Connon School in Bombay, where he was known more for his quiet determination than for being at the top of the class. Teachers often recalled how he had a unique way of observing things differently, a trait that would later define his leadership. As he grew older, his fascination for design, architecture, and machines began to shine. He wasn't drawn to business meetings or luxury cars like many rich children. Instead, he loved to sketch and build things. This passion led him to the Cornell University of Architecture in New York, where he pursued architecture and structural engineering. Life in the United States was eye-opening. For the first time, Ratan was away from the shadow of the Tata name. He lived like any other student, cooking his own meals, managing his finances, even working part-time jobs. This phase taught him self-reliance and resilience. But fate had more in store. After his time at Cornell, he joined a management program at the Harvard Business School, where he learned the complexities of global business and the importance of long-term vision. This combination of design thinking from Cornell and strategic thinking from Harvard shaped the unique leader he was destined to become. Even in those days, people around him noticed something special. He wasn't chasing money or titles. He was searching for meaning, for a way to use his knowledge to serve society. Sparkles Ratan Tata's early life shows us a simple but powerful truth: great leaders are not born in comfort, but shaped by struggles, values, and the courage to dream differently. Act 2: Early Career and Challenges, Proving Himself. When Ratan Tata returned to India after completing his studies abroad, many assumed he would step into the Tata Empire with ease, enjoying the privileges of a famous surname. But Ratan had different plans. In 1962, instead of starting in a comfortable office or boardroom, he chose to begin from the ground up. His first assignments were not about signing deals but about working on the shop floors of Tata Steel in Jamshedpur. There, alongside ordinary workers, he shoveled limestone, handled machinery, and got his hands dirty. People whispered, "Why is a Tata doing this kind of work?" But Ratan wanted to understand every detail of how the company functioned, from the sweat of its laborers to the complexity of its machines. This was his way of learning leadership, not from above, but from within. Yet, his journey was not free from criticism. When he took over Nelco, National Radio and Electronics Company, the company was already in deep trouble. Despite his efforts to revive it, Nelco struggled and eventually collapsed. Critics pounced, questioning his ability, dismissing him as unfit to lead. But Ratan Tata wasn't a man to give up. He believed in learning from failures. Later, when he was handed responsibility for Empress Mills, a textile unit, he tried to modernize it. However, due to lack of support from senior leadership, the mill had to shut down. Once again, he faced harsh judgment. Behind the calm face, though, was a man quietly building strength. He was learning patience, resilience, and the importance of backing bold decisions, lessons that would shape the future of the Tata Group. Then came a turning point. In 1991, India opened its doors to the world through economic liberalization. The business world was changing rapidly, foreign competition was entering the market, and many wondered if Indian companies could survive. Ratan Tata, who had by then taken over as the chairman of the Tata Group, saw this as an opportunity, not a threat. He envisioned transforming the Tata Empire into a modern, global powerhouse while staying true to its core values of integrity and service to society. It wasn't easy. Even within the Tata Group, there were doubts about his leadership. Some old-timers resisted change. But Ratan remained firm. He believed that if India was to rise on the world stage, then Tata too must rise with it. Step by step, he began reshaping the group, streamlining operations, encouraging innovation, and setting higher standards. This was just the beginning of the Ratan Tata era. Sparkles' story from this phase teaches us, true leadership is not about comfort or titles. It is about facing failure, standing tall in criticism, and daring to dream big, even when the world doubts you. Act 3, Business Vision and Achievements, Building a Global Tata. In 1991, India was at a crossroads. The economy had opened up, foreign companies were entering, and Indian businesses faced their toughest test yet. At this crucial moment, Ratan Tata became chairman of the Tata Group. Many doubted him. They saw him as too soft, too quiet, or not aggressive enough for a business leader in a cutthroat world. But Ratan Tata had a different vision, not just to compete, but to transform Tata into a global powerhouse rooted in values. Global expansion, bold acquisitions. One by one, Ratan Tata began making bold moves that stand the business world. In 2000, Tata Tea acquired Tetley Tea, a British giant. For the first time in history, an Indian company had taken over a legendary UK brand. Many called it impossible, but Ratan proved them wrong. In 2007, Tata Steel acquired Corus, Europe's second-largest steel producer. This was not just a business deal. It was a symbol that Indian companies could compete at the very top. And then, in 2008, came his most daring step. Tata Motors acquired Jaguar-Land Rover, JLR, from Ford. Critics laughed, how can an Indian company run these luxury brands? But within years, Tata revived JLR and made it profitable again. It was a moment of pride for India, proof that Indian business could shine on the world stage. The people's car, Tata Nano. But Ratan Tata's heart was always with the common man. After seeing a family of 4 squeezed dangerously on a scooter in Mumbai, he asked himself a simple but powerful question, can I give them a safe, affordable car? That vision gave birth to the Tata Nano, the world's cheapest car. Launched in 2008, it was marketed as the car for the common man. Though it faced challenges later, the Nano showed Ratan's mindset, innovation with empathy, business with humanity. Leadership style, people first, ethics always. Unlike many corporate leaders, Ratan Tata was not obsessed with profits alone. For him, employees were family. He stood by them in crises, cared for their dignity, and made decisions with compassion. When the 26/11 Mumbai attacks hit the Taj Hotel, a Tata property, he personally visited the families of employees and victims, providing support without waiting for headlines. That was not strategy, that was humanity. He always believed, I don't believe in taking right decisions. I take decisions and then make them right. Business need to go beyond numbers, to touch lives. Through his calm courage, Ratan Tata modernized the Tata Group, turned it global, yet kept it ethical and deeply Indian at heart. This act shows us, true greatness is not about building an empire of money, but about building an empire of trust, values, and service to people. Act 4, Personal Traits and Struggles, the man beyond business. Behind the global deals, luxury cars, and billion-dollar companies, Ratan Tata remained one of the simplest men India has ever seen. Humility and simplicity. Even though he led one of the biggest business empires in the world, Ratan Tata never lived like a billionaire. He often drove himself in a Tata car, stood quietly in queues, and wore a warm, modest smile. His office was simple, his lifestyle even simpler. He never married. Many asked him why, and he answered with honesty and dignity. He once had deep relationships, but circumstances didn't allow marriage. Instead, he devoted his life to work, to his people, and to his country. And his heart? Always soft. He had an immense love for animals, from dogs to stray cats. Even today, Ratan Tata is known to personally feed and care for strays at the Tata headquarters. He once said, "If you want to walk fast, walk alone. If you want to walk far, walk together." Struggles and criticism. His journey wasn't always filled with applause. Ratan Tata faced harsh criticism in his early career. Many believed he wasn't tough enough to lead. When he launched Tata Nano, critics mocked it as a failed dream. But he never let negativity break him. He believed in facing failure with grace and turning criticism into motivation. He often reminded young entrepreneurs, "Ups and downs in life are very important to keep us going, because a straight line in an ECG means we are not alive." Inspiration to youth and entrepreneurs. What made Ratan Tata truly unique was not just his success, but his values. He showed India's youth that you can build empires without corruption, without arrogance, and without losing your humanity. In boardrooms, he taught ethics. In villages, he taught compassion. To the youth, he gave a powerful message. Take the stones people throw at you and use them to build a monument. Ratan Tata's story is not just about business, it's about staying humble when the world calls you great, about loving deeply even when life denies you some dreams, and about standing tall through failures with dignity and courage. That is why, for millions, he is not just an industrialist. He is an inspiration. Act 5, Legacy and Inspiration. In 2012, after 2 decades of visionary leadership, Ratan Tata stepped down as chairman of the Tata Group. But unlike most, retirement didn't mean silence. Instead, he became an even stronger mentor, guide, and philanthropist, supporting young startups, nurturing entrepreneurs, and inspiring the next generation. He was often seen in startup meetings, sitting quietly, listening carefully, encouraging innovators. For him, India's future lay in the hands of its youth. A philanthropist at heart. Ratan Tata's true legacy lies in his compassion. Through the Tata Trusts, he transformed countless lives. Building schools and universities for education. Creating hospitals and cancer research centers to save lives. Providing disaster relief during earthquakes, tsunamis, and pandemics. His actions always spoke louder than his words. He proved that business is not just about profit, but about purpose. Nation builder. Ratan Tata didn't just run companies. He helped shape India. From Tata Steel that built cities, to Tata Motors that gave mobility, to Tata Consultancy Services that put India on the global tech map, his vision made India proud. And yet, his greatest contribution was trust. The Tata name, under his leadership, became a symbol of honesty, ethics, and humanity. Message to the world. To millions, Ratan Tata's life stands as a reminder that none can destroy iron, but its own rust can. Likewise, none can destroy a person, but his own mindset can. He taught us that success without values is meaningless. He showed us that true greatness comes not from wealth, but from how many lives you touch. Ratan Tata's journey tells us that even in a world full of competition, you can win with kindness. Even in a market chasing profits, you can lead with purpose. And even in failure, you can rise again with dignity. To every dreamer watching this, don't just chase money, chase meaning. Don't just build companies, build people. Don't just aim for success, aim for significance. If this story of Ratan Tata inspired you, share it with others, because the world needs more leaders like him. And remember, true legacy is not what you leave behind in wealth, but what you leave behind in hearts.